Hi everybody, sorry for the little bit of delay there. When I ended the first video, I clicked on something that I wasn't supposed to click on for a second before I started the second video. So I figured it out. Okay, so part two is okay, I talked about the Audra relationship and the Holden and the Sally and the Billy. Okay, so we're left with the Phyllis piece. Okay. And Phyllis is trying to get into Kane's brain and trying to manipulate him into thinking that she's not trying to use him, she's trying to be his ally with quotes around it. Okay? And I'm like, do you really believe the words coming out of your mouth right now? Because I don't. I've been around with you too long, Phyllis. I don't believe anything you say. Yeah, I just don't. Okay. So then they're at a table and talking. And then Sally and Billy come out for dinner or whatever. And he tells her to go downstairs and order something, and I'll be right there. So then he's convinced that he's going to talk to her, talk to Phyllis, and tell her that there's no deal on the table. And Sally says, "Are you sure that's it?" So he says, "Yeah, right behind you." So then he's gonna go up to the table, so it looks like, and then he realizes that she's into like whatever she's talking about, really deep, and then he aborts the mission and goes to Sally. So that's the end of that. Okay, now here's the interesting part, and the part I haven't even touched yet. This is how deep the episode was today. Okay, so the big piece is what are the Abbotts going to do about the Newmans, right? Okay, so I told you without even knowing, not having full clarity. Yesterday I was not on my game, let me tell you, okay? I was not awake. I mean, like, literally I was awake, but not really awake. So I said, I think this Matt Clark is going to come back and be a part. And I said, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I'm right. Okay, so what happened is, okay, now you have to go back into your brain for a couple days. When Matt had Nick in the car and was taking control, and they drove into something and they had a wreck. And then Nick got hurt again, right? Talked about that. But remember that. Because remember how I told you, why are they not going directly to the police station? And I said, what, this is strange. Okay. I know what happened to Matt. Okay. So these goon looking dudes have him. And they have one guy on one side, one guy on the other side. And they're like holding on to him. And they said, here he is. And then Kyle says, I think I have the answer. And so he presents Matt Clark to his parents. And his dad is like, Jack is like, what are you doing here? You're not even supposed to be, well, okay. What he said is, you're not even supposed to be alive. Why are you here? And Nick got framed for your murder years ago. I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, I remember that piece. And then they said something like, what do you want me to do with him or something like that. I don't know. So anyway, so then the goons go away, right? And of course, in my opinion, they give Roger Howard the best line of the day. I don't know what's wrong with you people, but I'm not me. I'm Mitch McCain or McCall. I'm Mitch McCall. I don't know who this Matt person is. Right. Okay, so the key moment of the whole thing is Jack picks up the phone, calls Victor, says, I think we got to talk. And I'm like, I know what's going to happen because he's going to say, Jack is going to say to Victor, I can protect your family from this guy, But what I want in return is for you to not use the AI software against us. Now, what we have to do tomorrow is if they continue the storyline in a daily fashion, then we have to see if I was right. Because I guarantee you that's going to be some of the verbiage coming out of Jack's mouth tomorrow or whenever they pick up the story again. And the reason I say this is because it should be linear, but just because it should be linear doesn't mean it's always going to be. So you have to remember that. So, yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.